Twelve teams representing some of the biggest cities around the world. 72 of the world's most talented poker players with over $350 million in combined lifetime earnings will put everything on the line over 8 months to compete for the title of the first ever GPL World Champions. Which team has what it takes? The Global Poker League starts now.
Hello and welcome back to the Global Poker League. This Wednesday evening we've been watching action from Eurasian heads-up play. We have already seen Wayne Zhang from the Hong Kong Stars take 6 points for his side, and we've also seen Dario Sammartino for the Rome Emperors take 6 points for his side. So all of those teams doing well. We have one more match of the day coming your way. It's gonna be a good one. It's Davidi Kitai of the Paris Aviators versus Sorel Mizzi of the Berlin Bears. We saw, of course, the debut of Sorel Mizzi just last night in the Six Max event. He had some very interesting tales to tell, missing the beginning of the match, misplacing his laptop, having to run into a store, buy a new laptop, and then find a coffee shop in which to play. It was all going on for him, so hopefully we're going to have some great anecdotes from him this evening in that match. And of course, Davidi Kitai, we saw back in week 1, he made an epic fold in the Six Max match. I believe it's probably one of the best folds we have seen in the GPL history in 7 weeks so far. We've been here 7 weeks. 7 weeks of online action, and in fact we only have one more week left of online action, and then we're going into the summer series, which means we are having live action from Las Vegas, and it's going to be cross-conference action as well, which means the Eurasian teams will play the Americas teams. And not only that, we've also broadcast the fact that we are going to be holding the playoffs in San Diego at the TwitchCon, and that's going to be happening September the 30th until October the 2nd. And we're giving the chance for you guys to be there as well. So stay tuned to the Global Poker League, as someone could be flying to San Diego and could be joining us at the playoffs and hopefully rooting for their favorite team. We're going to go to Eric Danny now. He is going to give us some stats for this next match coming up.
Laura, we talked about heads-up points earlier today. Let's take a look at the wins and losses. Each match represents 3 heads-up games. Let's take a look who's leading the leaderboard, or he's on top of the leaderboard. No shocker, Nanonoko has won the most heads-up games so far this season. 8 victories, 7 losses, 8-7. That record used to be much better just a week ago. It was 8-4, now 8-7. That's close to the 500 mark there, Laura. Justin Bonomo, who's really picking things up in the last few weeks with London Royals, he sits in second right now. 5 games won, only 1 loss. That means he's only lost 3 points out of all those points available. Really a great job by Justin Bonomo so far this year for the London Royals. George Danzer of the Paris Aviators has lost twice, but has won 4 times. So he's 4-2 so far this season. We'll remember the epic 3-0 victory over Igor Kurganov just a few short weeks ago. Sergei Lebedev, he's played a lot, 4-5 in his 3 matches so far this year. 4 wins, 5 losses. Jeffrey Gross with a big sweep a few weeks ago against Todd Brunson. He's at 3-0. Anatoly Filatov at 3-3. Now, to be honest, at 3-3, there are a few more players involved now. Igor Kurganov's now at 3 wins. Dario Sammartino's now at 3 wins. Wayne Zhang now at 3 wins. So the 3 mark seems to be very popular so far. Moving on, our last stat of the night, Laura. Let's take a look at the number of hands dealt heads up. We looked at a few the most active players last week. Let's take a look now at the hands dealt heads up per match. Funny enough, Elke, boy, does he ever like to play heads up poker. He averages 188 hands per match. That's quite surprising when you look at who is second on the list. That's Jungle Man. He averages 50 less hands a match. 138 hands a match dealt to Jungle Man. 50 less than Elke. That's amazing. Nanonoko is next, 135 hands per match is what he's averaging right now. And then we go a bit more smoothly. Justin Bonomo playing 118 hands a match. Tim Adams 116. Sergei Lebedev at 114. If it was up to Dario Sammartino or Igor Kurganov, we'd be averaging maybe 10, 20, 30 hands a match. Those guys like to play fast, Laura. Back to you.
Wow, some great new stats from the Statman, Mr. Eric Danny. Thank you so much. I have to say, when we watched the Elke and Nanonoko match, I was absolutely amazed how fast these guys were playing poker. Sometimes you watch it and they're quite slow heads up, but this one it was like back and forth, back and forth. No idea actually this evening how quick Davidi Kitai and Sorel Mizzi will be playing, but that we will find out very, very soon. Let's take a quick look at the standings heading into this match and where that leaves us. So Berlin Bears, obviously 6th place right now. They are 3 points behind the Rome Emperors, which means if Sorel Mizzi can win just one of these matches, they will be level again back in 5th, 6th place. But if he can win more than one match, if he can win 2 matches, then that will mean Berlin Bears climb back to 5th and Rome Emperors will go back to 6th. Hong Kong Stars on 74, Paris Aviators on 78, London Royals 79, Moscow Wolverines will stay on 87 points and will end this week as top of the conference yet again. Anatoly Filatov, manager of the Wolverines, obviously going to be very happy with that, although the gap has lessened. They came into the start of the week 14 points clear of 2nd place. So doing really, really well and still doing really well. And it's quite interesting to see how the points are, much more widespread in the Eurasian Conference as opposed to the Americas Conference, where they're so tight. New York Rounders obviously came into this week just 1 point clear of the Montreal Nationals, and now just after one night of 6-max action yesterday, New York Rounders have now dropped to 3rd place from being top of the conference. Montreal Nationals obviously are top of the league at the moment, but that will probably all change tomorrow in those heads-up Americas Conference matches. But we've got a great one coming your way. It is, of course, Paris Aviators, Davidi Kitai versus Sorel Mizzi, Berlin Bears. Let's go over to the boys and let's get warmed up for this final match of the evening.
Thanks, Laura. We're all missing Eric Denny, of course, in the lounge. But I got to say,
no one more than Laura Cornelius.
No, exactly. Getting a full corn dog, just like going on for minutes and minutes. I personally love it.
100% corn dog here at the GPL. We know what you guys
great.
want.
Top
you
girl,
want Laura Cornelius.
She's our favorite here at the GPL.
We love her. Laura.
Laura, I don't know how she does it. Okay, we got a big match coming up. It's Sorel
big
Mizzi.
Match, massive match.
It's Sorel
Fan
Mizzi.
favourites, Sorel Mizzi,
yes.
Strong webcam game, and the mysterious
yes,
Davidi Kitai.
The elusive, the enigmatic,
here they
the
are,
absolutely beautiful,
pensive. They're a lot
super
more
French.
hunky
Actually,
than
Belgium,
this.
right? He's Belgian. Is he Belgian or
yeah,
Belgian?
they're 2 separate countries.
I understand. Yeah, I corrected myself.
Yep.
Jeez. Okay, so Paris Aviators.
Aviators.
David Kitai. Abandoning the Belgium battalion, which was the name of the team that we were going to have from Belgium.
The Belgian Bears.
The Belgian Bears.
And
to play with the Paris Aviators.
6.9 million in earnings. Something you love to point out, Griffin. Look at that win rate. 10 from 92. 1 out of 9 times.
I'm still stuck at the earnings.
Closing it
6.9 million. Giggity. First result, over 10 years ago. Guy's been around the block. He's someone who, is way more of a sort of like a live field player. Obviously, knows his ranges extremely well.
Why you got to diss Davidi?
It ain't a diss,
Davidi
buddy. You're the one who's an online purist.
Davidi is a boss.
He's a boss.
An era where strategies are converging more and more, the top players all taking a GTO approach. This is a guy who does things differently.
Yeah.
This is a guy that goes his own way, and that's why so many top players have.
You might even say he plays out of the box. That's an expression I just made up.
Out of the box.
What's in the box?
Envelope,
What's in the box?
Raising the flag and seeing if we salute it. Doing all kind of metaphors.
Yes.
Davidi Kitai, top dog.
Top dog.
Now, but what about who else we got? From the top dog to the top bear.
Yes, the top bear.
The Bezinator.
As in the only bear that was available for the match tonight. All kidding aside.
If we
Sorel,
can get him out of bed,
he,
there's some chance he may oversleep.
Yeah.
It is a possibility.
We have just received word that he's actually just jumped out of a plane in order to try to get to a little quaint coffee shop in southwest
by the way,
Victoria,
for someone that
BC.
Doesn't have a WSOP bracelet or an EPT title, 11.1 million in live earnings, a whole host online as well. I remember, I think it was last year's Scoop. I watched him on a final table, crushing and taking down a 2K. Someone that, was a star at the beginning of the online boom and is still a star, delivering results online now.
And
can we talk strong webcam game.
Can we talk about the win rate? I mean,
Mate,
over 10%.
Let's speak to my and we're going live to Griffin Benja, and he's going to talk about the win rate.
So win rate is the percentage of the time, based on your cashes, that you win. He has 13 wins and 112 results. That means that's better than 10%.
It's
pretty damn good. If you cash an event and you're winning 10% of those tournaments, I think it's pretty
got a
darn
10% efficiency.
The efficiency rating is high.
Efficiency.
As you'll notice, too, it did show up in the graphic. September 2006 was also his first result. He was heads up. This is a stat that Eric Denny gave me. Heads up with Davidi Kitai in a $50 rebuy at a casino in Vegas, Caesar's Palace. I made all of that up, and you believed every single word. It was just a coincidence.
What level are we on here?
Yeah, I'm not even sure. Well, no, that
was so meta. You've even befuddled your co-commentator.
They had the same result, their same first result in the exact same month, exact same year. So I did a bit.
Who did?
Sorel and Kitai. They both their first result in September 2006. What are the odds?
Wow. What are the odds?
Oh, that is pretty good.
Spooky stuff here at the GPL.
$50 rebuy, Caesar's Palace. That's where I started.
Leave the stats to Eric Denny. That's my recommendation to you, brother.
Yes.
But
I will.
This really is the biggest match of the day. We've had a great day here at the GPL. Who could forget?
It sounded like you were going to say a jerk.
Young Wheezy. Wheezy winning 2 games, 2-1 earlier in the day. Igor Kurganov losing to Dario Sammartino with a new innovation in talking together. And now, Davidi Kitai, we've been waiting for him since week 1. For those of you who weren't fans of the GPL now, joining us late, Davidi Kitai won the first ever match, I believe, in the GPL, the first ever 6-max match, and made an unbelievably unconventional, unbelievably soul-reading fold of top pair when he check raised and just had 15 big blinds with 10-8 on like a 8-5 deuce, really dry board. Pretty amazing.
2 blues as well.
Like a boss.
There were 2 blues. There were 2 blues on the flop, 2 diamonds, and he still just
like
made the
fold. A boss.
Like a Hugo.
So yeah, Davidi Kitai in action for the Aviators, and they are. Where are they in the league? Let's have a look. They are second in the league at the moment. They're going to be looking to close that gap on Moscow Wolverines.
Are you sure? Because the London Royals got points. I think they're technically
they're third.
Yes.
This is outdated.
Yes.
But if they can get a point
you can do better
today,
than that.
they can
definitely
go second. Well, you've knocked our monitor over. I'm sorry.
But like, if you want to do a good bit, like if it's outdated, you just rip it up. It's fine. Like we appreciate these rundowns, but it is outdated now.
I'll just put the monitor back for us.
Thank you.
But in all seriousness,
but
you're a big
string is.
No, I want you to talk a little bit because
I'm
a big Davidi Kitai fan.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm new. I'm getting on board the Sorel Mizzi train. I'm thinking about getting on board. Tell me why you love Sorel Mizzi so much. Tell the fans why you love him so much.
Because HDGAF, buddy. HDGAF.
What's that?
He don't give a frick. He really doesn't. He's going to be who he is. And he's going to take names, going to take numbers. For the ladies out there. He's a wonderful. He's like James Bond.
I mean, he gave us a little flavour of his lifestyle yesterday, saying, "Oh, I dropped a laptop in a hotel. I'm in Austin, Texas.
I was at a Motel 6."
He gave us the image that he's just rothling all over the world, going to party after party, crashing at people's houses.
Absolutely. Well, no, crashing in people's Motel 6s apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, and then crashing computers.
But does play on the high roller scene.
Yep.
Is part of the
Not as much as many
Berlin home game vibe.
Yep. He's been in the belly of the beast. He a lot of controversy attached to Sorel. A lot of moral absolutism in the world of the poker world. I mean, considering that we're all cowboys.
We're all fallible.
Yes, exactly. And we love Sorel here at the GPL, so we don't care if you don't love Sorel.
And also, great for
Give
the
us a
Berlin
little
Bears.
feedback.
Great for the Berlin Bears. He does look a bit like a bear, as I pointed out yesterday.
Yes.
I mean, that's going to work for the branding.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe in the future they can have their logo just be a big picture of Sorel.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do have a serious question though. Okay, because please understand. By the way, the reason why we are, stalling right now, we are waiting for. No, listen. We are waiting for Sorel, and that's it's meta.
This is content.
We're waiting for Sorel to show up, so it becomes funny if you just let me finish the bit. Okay. All kidding aside, let's talk very hypothetically for a second. Theoretical conversation. It's fine. Theoretical conversation. Who would win in a fight? A full-grown grizzly bear or a small plane of the same size that could actually fight? Like it was actually like.
Remember how we talked about you going off topic?
No,
you remember how we talked about like
who would win between an aviator and a bear? In real life, if the plane was conscious, who would win? Do you think a bear or a plane? An aviator in particular, and a grizzly bear. I made that very clear. There's no elements here. We're not saying polar bear in the forest. A grizzly bear against a plane, a small plane of the same size. It has propellers.
I feel like this is stalling now. Let's talk a little bit more about Davidi Kitai.
No, you got to answer the question. Come on, the fans. What do you think? Give us your feedback. GlobalPokerLeague.com or tweet at Griffin.
Stalling.
Who do you think would win in a fight?
Let me talk about
a sentient plane the size of a bear or a grizzly bear with the soul of Sorel Mizzi, and the plane has the soul of Davidi Kitai.
It's like
Davidi
It's
Kitai.
like you're on an acid trip. I know we've had a long break, but how many coffees did you actually have?
How many? Just 2.5.
And it was just caffeine.
Yeah, just caffeine.
That's good to know. Okay,
let's go to the format video.
No,
They've given us an out for a second here.
Okay,
Sorel, I hate you for making me do this, but obviously,
obviously
the plane would win. Give us your thoughts. Tweet at me. Forget Sam. He's not even on the bit. Laura, who would win? Plane or a bear?
The global
format video
consists of 12 worldwide teams, 6 in the Eurasian Conference and 6 in the American Conference. Each team has a total of 6 players, and the manager of that team may choose whoever they like to play at any time, provided each player on their team plays a minimum of 6 matches across the season. The GPL starts the regular season with 8 weeks of online arena action, which consists of 6 max and heads-up matches. Every Tuesday, all 6 teams from each conference will face off in 2 6-max sit-and-goes. One team in each conference will play as the home team, while the other 5 are away. Home team managers have the ability to pick their players once they have seen the lineup of the away teams. Points will be awarded to all teams competing except for the 6th place finisher per match. First will get 7 points, second 5 points, third 3 points, fourth 2 points, and 5th will get 1 point. Every Wednesday, each of the 6 Eurasian Conference teams will battle in 3 heads-up games against an opponent from another Eurasian Conference team. And every Thursday, each American Conference team will do the same. For heads-up, one team from each matchup will play at home, while the other away. All 3 games will be played, with 3 points awarded per game won and 0 points awarded per game lost, with a total of 9 points available. After the 8 weeks of online arena, live heads-up play will be introduced in the Global Poker League Summer Series in Las Vegas. Teams from GPL's 2 conferences will face off against each other in cross-conference heads-up play in 6 heats across 5 weeks of daily action. Just as in the online arena, during studio heads-up play, they will duel for 3 games, with 9 possible points available per match. After the summer series, the GPL regular season continues, with 6 more weeks of online arena action, after which the 2 teams at the bottom of each conference will be eliminated, and the remaining 8 will advance to the playoffs. The playoffs will see the much-awaited introduction of the Cube, the ultimate poker arena. A 2-day event hosted from an epic venue in North America at the end of September will see 8 teams reduced down to 4 in a completely revolutionary 3v3 format. Finally, the first season of the Global Poker League will conclude its play with the live finals, played from the Cube at the SSE Arena, Wembley, in London, where the champions of each conference will be determined on day 1. And finally, on the grand final on day 2, where the Americas Conference winner will face off against Eurasia's best to determine who will be crowned the Global Poker League champions.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Griffin Bencher. This is Sam Grafton. We just got done talking about plane and bear politics. Sam wasn't feeling it, so we're going to move on to something that's actually important. Not the match, just the second, as we're still waiting for the great elusive Sorel Mizzi to show up. But we want to tell you about TwitchCon. At the end of September, very exciting. For those of you who aren't aware, if you're watching on Twitch right now, there is actually a TwitchCon. Do you think it's conference or convention?
I think it's convention.
Yes, for sure. Twitch convention, and we're very excited. The GPL is going to be represented there. The Cube is going to be there. There's going to be 3-on-3. There's going to be playoffs. There's going to be tons of people there. Sam and I might even be there. Fingers crossed.
Possibly. Big cube, little cube. Big cube, little cube.
No, we're going to have a big presence there. A lot of the players are going to be there. Obviously, it's going to be the playoffs. It's going to be very, very exciting. So we're very excited. But more importantly, we are actually going to be sending some fans to TwitchCon to be a part of the whole experience. No promises on meeting us. We're very, very important.
Yeah, of course.
But some of the players, I mean, I know some people. I got a dinner with them. I'll twist some arms. I'll see what I can do for you. But we will be running a contest for that in probably over the summer series in Vegas.
Is that the debut of the 3 versus 3 format?
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe that is the plan.
It's going to be pretty exciting stuff.
Yes, I agree for sure.
Live fans, live players.
Listen, for all you hockey fans out there, the NHL just changed from 4v4 to 3v3 overtime, and that has gone extremely well. Everyone loves it. So Dreyfus following a very proven model in a completely unrelated...
A little glimpse of the future.
Yes, within the NHL. Very successful, the 3v3 overtime. So we're very, very hopeful that you'll enjoy it. But guys, honestly, I mean, if you want to tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you think should change, please get on globalpokerleague.com. There's surveys up there that you can give us your feedback. We want to know how to increase the performance, or better the experience of the Global Poker
I'll tell you
League.
what, I've been on there and I've made some recommendations. So
Have
you should
Fantastic.
too.
What was your code name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have a code name.
I did it undercover.
Yeah.
Deep
Was it
cover.
just Sam Squid
Deep cover.
backwards? Duke just.
Oh, hello. Hello there.
Oh, late again.
Hello,
Paul.
boys.
Hello, everyone.
Story time.
God, 16 hours. Came to the Starbucks. I forgot my charger. I had to run back to my hotel. I thought for sure I would be late. Got my charger, but the internet wasn't working at Starbucks. So I restarted while the laptop was still at Starbucks and hoping that was the issue that I needed to troubleshoot. And thank God that was, because otherwise we would have had another Mitzy disaster. Anyway, I'm here. I'm ready to play some poker against the great Davidi Kitai, or Davidi Kitai. You can probably see the sweat if you look very carefully. Maybe you don't even have to look that careful, but it's dripping all over my face. Oh.
Doesn't sound like we are able to hear either player yet. Sorel Mizzi disappearing, reappearing. Definitely not the most responsible individual, Sorel Mizzi.
first 3-bet of the game.
Try now. Oh, it's a beautiful day here in Austin, Texas. We are outside enjoying the weather. It's nice and mild with the sun is out. It's quite nice. So I'm just enjoying my time here, playing a little bit of heads up against the legendary Davidi Kitai. Okay, we're gonna check back here. We got king high. I mean, you could justify a bet here, but checking is fine. You know, I just feel like I'm going to get floated a lot, and we have a hand that is going to show down like pretty well against a lot of hands that he has in this spot. So we're going to elect to just check this down. I think we're good here a lot of the time. Yeah, so just to tell you guys what happened, I actually almost got late. I was almost late again. I thought for sure I was going to be late. What happened was I brought my computer to Starbucks at around 3:50. I got here, and I tried to get on the internet, and it wasn't working. And I was like, oh my God, the internet's not working, and my battery is low, and I forgot my charger. And my hotel felt like it was about a 20-minute run, 20-minute walk away. But I jetted. I went super fast to my hotel room, got my charger, after restarting my laptop thinking, okay, let's pray one time that that's the issue, that the issue is not that there's some issue with the internet, but that I just needed one of those good old-fashioned restarts. And sure enough, I made it back to Starbucks at 3:58 in 8 minutes. I completed a 20-minute run in 8 minutes and got my charger, and the issue was that my computer needs to be restarted. So this time, yesterday, I had a lot of outs to be on time. And today, everything was looking outside of my favor, and I still made it on time. So take that, Alex Dreyfus. I'm just kidding. I love Alex. He's the best. He's a very fair man.
Interesting that Sorel thinks that he made it here on time.
Okay, so
and doesn't realize that we
got
had
A7 here.
discuss.
You know, we floated on the flop. We may
would win in a
may
fight,
float
a
on the
plane, or a
turn as
bear.
well. I mean, it's
ace high is going to be good a decent amount of the time against Davidi's c-bet range. And we do have a gut shot. But that being said, it would be a little bit of a high variance play to call here. I'm going to just fold here. I'm going to give it to him. You know, it's definitely a close one for me. Davidi is from my experience, he's a very tricky player. He's very aggressive. He knows how to put the pedal on the metal, and he's definitely not one to shy away from a little bluffarooski once in a while. So we definitely have to keep that in mind when we're playing against him. Okay, we got the ace-4 suited here, very standard defend. We did hit all black, but unfortunately it's the wrong black. I'm sure there's a really good joke there for Griffin. I was gonna say it, but I'm sure he has a better one. Okay, so we're just gonna check back here. Just give up.
You don't deserve a joke. Keep on showing up late, Sorel.
No showdown belt. I mean, we have no equity.
Very strongly considering.
And look what happened. We hit some equity.
Rescinding your gun and badge.
We could justify checking here again. But I think I'm going to put in a bet. I mean, he could want to bluff the ace, but I think he might have like a king high type hand maybe, or maybe he has like a 9 type of hand that he just wanted to show down and he won't believe I have an ace. So I think a $2,500 bet here is appropriate. King Jack here. It's a great spot to defend. I don't like free betting it. It's just I kind of like playing a low variance style against really aggressive opponents like Davidi. Here with King Jack, I think we're gonna go bet. I mean, we have a pretty good hand, and it doesn't look like we have an ace. So we have the best possible Jack you could possibly have, and Davidi definitely likes to call a lot of with a lot of hands in this spot. So yeah, I think betting is fine there. I think that's the play. Another perfect hand to defend. What a board. What a flop we got here. Now, some people would elect to go for the check raise here. I just don't see the value in doing that because I don't see the value in check raising here because we have like pretty much full board coverage. Diamond comes, we're golden. King comes, we're golden. I mean, we're not really afraid of anything, and we don't want to like get him to stop bluffing into us. So we're just going to call here, and just call probably all the way unless we improve. Now I'm going to need to plug in my laptop in a second. So I might have to go inside again. It might get noisy. Wow, we got a little overbetterooski from the Kitai. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, we're not folding, I can tell you that much. This is one of those spots where you have to evaluate your options. I can't fold, and I can't raise, so the only thing left to do is call. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to hit the flush ball. Now, there's no point in betting here. We're just going to let him barrel it off. He's probably going to give up a lot.
Davidi puffing on that e-cigarette.
Either way, we're in decent shape here. I don't think he's ever overbetting with a full house. So on the turn, so I think we're in a okay queen 9. All right, so we're gonna have to. That was a good hand for us. We're gonna have to plug in. So we have a king high flush draw here. We're gonna, I mean, we have showdown value on the flop, and we certainly have showdown value on the turn. You know, we're going for the flush draw, but king high is going to be good a decent amount of time. So.
Sorel Mizzi. Sorel Mizzi.
He's like Jason Bourne, going from city to city,
yeah,
looking for cables and laptops and discovering his identity.
That was actually a villain stealing his motorcycle. Just the eyes.
Uh-oh.
Swing and a miss, Sorel.
Oh, dear.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, buddy. Definitely an interesting non-GTO play, going up to a pretty stranger outside a cafe and saying, say hello to the GPL and the Burling Bears into a webcam. That's going to go real well. Yeah. Here, look, you're on TV. You're on internet TV. Say hi to the GPL.
Yeah, we don't encourage street harassment here at the GPL.
No. Street poker, sure.
And he's back. Another instance. GPL, you never know what you're going to get, do you?
No.
And today we got Sorel Mizzi in a cafe in Austin playing some pokers.
Mm-hmm.
It's great because Davidi Kitai online is just Davidi Kitai live. Stroking the beards. R.I.P. is.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh, man, it's hectic.
Little known fact about Sorel Mizzi, half Maltese. The beautiful studio of the Global Poker League located in Malta. The beautiful little island of Malta.
guys are going to just mute Sorel for this match.
Yeah.
And then the second match, you can go outside and share his thoughts.
Once his laptop is charged.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to have to do a little bit of work, though, Griff. We're going to have to explain. A lot of pressure standing in for Sorel Mizzi. Yeah. Sorel, you'll see one of the players who doesn't use a ridiculously high probe or c-bet strategy, keeping it chilled out. And Davidi Kitai bombing the turn, forcing Sorel off his gutter. Is that a little cat in the, like?
Yeah.
Ah. Not too much 3-betting.
Wait, where's the little cat?
Like, I think his head popped up. Maybe I imagined it.
Well, I saw someone mention on the stream too.
Or a dog.
Where, on the left there?
Just popped into Davidi's frame. And Davidi does fire out with the ace-10, looking for a little bit of protection. You'll see Sorel considering calling with the king-4 high. But lets it go. And Sorel off to the better start here. Won a big pot when he checked top pair and a flush draw to Davidi. And Davidi fired big on the turn and then gave up on the river. Not much to separate these guys other than that, though, so far.
Yeah, not much to say about this match other than it's a trap. Davidi Kitai with the Admiral Akbars. Loved seeing the Admiral in episode 7, by the way. Little pop-up there. He was in episode 7, Admiral Akbar.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that film.
Oh, it's good. Quite good.
And Davidi Kitai binking the toppest most pair. Flopping 2 pair, as I like to say.
You do like to say that.
Sorel Mizzi with pretty junky 5-9 off. And does elect to fire. And turns a pair and a good amount of showdown value. Could bet it to protect against Davidi's ace highs and flush draws. And that's a card neither player's going to want to see on the river. But Davidi Kitai seems to sense that his 6 is good and fires out a small value bet on the river. And Sorel actually has one of the few worst hands that could pay off, but does fold. Maybe, given that Sorel folded a 5, it was not a value bet that's going to be profitable against Sorel's specific strategy.
Right.
Given that Davidi's kicker was pretty feeble with his 6 as well. As I said, Davidi Kitai, not someone that plays by the rules, has his own style, his own way of doing things, which has reaped huge reward for him on the live poker circuit.
Very famous for some of his amazing calls throughout the World Series and the European Poker Tour.
For sure. I'm pretty sure you can YouTube, not now, watch the match, but later.
As long as you don't close the window, and we still get your viewership.
You can YouTube.
You can YouTube it, but
top 5 Davidi Kitai calls.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
is there a top 5?
There's definitely is.
No.
Because he's done.
I don't think he's been on that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done. He did the Queen High one in. He's done 2 very famous Queen High calls on big stages.
Yeah, I know, but those were just the 2, right? Queen High call, best hero call ever, Davidi Kitai. Yeah.
Huge best of Davidi Kitai poker YouTube.
Hero
22
call,
minutes.
Queen Jack versus Veo.
Scroll down. I'm sure that I don't know.
Huge best of Davidi Kitai poker. Oh wow, great plays. 23 minutes long.
And 2 very sexy hands here. The Ace Jack and the 9-10 blue.
Shooted. But I was shooted.
And Kitai flopping an overcard and a gut shot. Checks back in position. This hand can improve to the nuts and is a reasonably effective bluff catcher. And Sorel doesn't bet the turn with his 10, But on that brick river, should feel like this hand is good enough to bet. This very typical of Davidi Kitai's style of play, I think. Does a lot of checking and does a lot of deciding. So confident in his abilities as a hand reader.
Pretty impressive. You find the best of Davidi Kitai. He makes 2 queen high calls on the same final table to win a bracelet.
Like
how many queen high calls did you make when you won your bracelet, Sam?
Mate, when I and Davidi Kitai with an ace high call, as we say, a man that specializes in queen high calls can be very tempted to call down with ace high. And Sorel Mizzi opening up that gap, that chip advantage over Davidi. Davidi went number 2 overall in the draft to Paris Aviators. And Sorel Mizzi also a second-round draft.
Second round, yeah. When you say number 2 overall, it sounds like the first round.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
You know, being a Brit, not as familiar with the drafting chat, but...
number 2 overall was, of course, Mike McDonald. Who made a great showing yesterday. I think it went Kennett, McDonald, Mercier.
Yeah, top players, all understandably so. These some strong second-round picks, though, for sure. I think Paris Aviators, they were like bottom of the draft, so they got a quick second round. Second pick in the second round. Davidi surrendering the Jack-5 off. Sorel Mizzi bumping things up here pre-flop with 2 10s. Very, very... there he is.
Oh, it's a puppy. It's a little fox puppy, Wolf.
Davidi Kitai trains wild wolves as a sideline.
Oh, look at it looking at him so lovingly.
It also, by the way, one of those things where, you know, like how owners and their dogs look a bit alike? He's a little bit vulpine himself.
Yeah, it's great. Love getting a little insight.
And Davidi Kitai, not sure what to do here with the ace-3. I presume he's thinking about a 4-bet. A lot of aces he would be very comfortable calling here, but the offsuit ace-3, thinking about just utilizing the blocker. But thinks better of it, and we can see that was the correct decision. Mitzy with the very strong 2 pocket 10s. 2 pocket 10s? The wired 10s, as Mike Sexton leads.
That is a beautiful dog, man.
And bingo, bango, bongo. Sorel Mizzi flopping the Jack to 7 straight.
I love animals. Look at that thing. Sorry. Focus. Focus Benger. Focus Benger to dodge. #FireBenger.
And Sorel Mizzi picking up some hands here. Davidi Kitai opening the 3-7 suited. Completely standard and he and Mitzy all in with the 2 9s. Davidi Kitai down to 15 big blinds and a strong position for the man some refer to as the Mizzinator. Feel like I can't do that because I don't know him
Aces again.
so well, but
I'll let you call him the Mizzinator.
yeah,
I'll send in
the approve of that. I feel like he's a pretty chilled out guy, Sorel.
Yeah.
Pretty informal.
That's one way to put it.
And Sorel Mizzi flopping best here. Tricky board to negotiate with the Queen 8 off. And Kitai with a loose continuation bet. 4 high and no spade in his hand.
More like Sorel never missy. Am I right? Seems like he's smashing some boards. Flop the nuts. Made the second nut flush on the river.
Kitai, who
is clicking away.
Yeah,
no
and Fars
equite.
again, and this particular holding into the bin. Dusty bin for the Queen 8. What a stroke of the beard, hey?
Yeah.
He is a little bit rock and roll, Davidi Kitai.
For sure.
Could be in an indie band.
Definitely.
Him and Leno would be like,
oh my God.
I feel like people would be going crazy for them too.
Yes. They just ooze
and
rock and roll sexual energy.
Great flop again for Sorel Mizzi, and an unbelievable turn. And Davidi Kitai does have a 5 or a 9 for a straight, which in this instance is completely redundant.
One of those boards, one of those turn cards that not only makes the hand of Sorel Mizzi, but keeps Davidi drawing dead with a draw heads up that is relatively strong.
For sure.
Double ga.
And a 10 can be good in a lot of instances.
Exactly.
And obviously, if Sorel knew what hand Davidi had, he would be checking here, but probably going to go for value, targeting the 4x and turned 8s that Kitai was trying to steer to showdown. Obviously, with 10-6 high and no heart, Davidi Kitai, no option to bluff or fold, thankfully for him. And Sorel all in, and this is going to be a test of Davidi Kitai's pre-flop skills, because pretty sure that with 10 big blinds, this is going to be a call, not just because Sorel happens to have Jack 8, but I think you are going to have to defend this hand. He does make the call, and Mitzy flops big. A gutter for Davidi, and he's going to need to hit that 10, otherwise the first match will go to Sorel Mizzi. Bricks off.
Game, Sorel.
A little bit of rocky action from Sorel Mizzi. 3 points for the Berlin Bears.
The Berlin Bear himself, Sorel Mizzi, clips off a wing of the sentient aviator known as Davidi Kitai. Everything going his way there. Hitting a lot of boards. Playing well, of course. A little quieter than we used to, almost like we had to mute him because he wasn't prepared. I'm coming for your gun and your badge, Sorel. You get your shit together. This is the Global Poker League. Davidi Kitai, on time, adorable animal in the background.
We approve. Can we just say,
Great
we
rock
want to
and roll
reach out
shirt.
to the players. If you have a pet,
Please.
we want to see it. It brightens up Griffin's day.
Every time.
Brightens up the day of
And Laura.
Laura
Laura loves animals.
She loves it. A vulpine Davidi Kitai, a little baby wolf sneaking around. Great stuff from Davidi Kitai. But so far, no points for the Paris Aviators. As Griff said, Sorel Mizzi hitting board after board. Not to say he didn't play very well, but I think Sorel is humble enough to admit was making some hands.
You're smashing
Card
some boards
distribution,
Sorel.
really favouring.
You know you were smashing some boards.
Really
Boards are
favouring.
getting smashed.
Really favouring the Berlin Bear.
Yes. I'm excited to see the second match. About another minute before we get there. So what do you think? Anything else?
Hopefully Sorel will, once his computer's charged, will find a quiet spot. We do really want this guy full of life, full of stories.
Yes.
Sharing with the fans. But when he's in the noisy cafe, there's not much we could do.
Yes. And at one point he did try to stay outside and get a little help from a pretty stranger.
He's probably spending.
He's probably going to apologize.
Not a man who wastes time.
No,
he's probably
not at all.
using the 2 minutes to, to spread some love.
Spread it everywhere.
But Sorel Mizzi, very, very talented player.
Yeah.
You can see, seems very comfortable, at the table in this format, relaxed, having a good time, enjoying his poker.
Having a laugh.
I think that's one of the reasons people, he's very likable, Sorel, because he just seems to enjoy the game, enjoy playing, enjoy the challenge of playing a legend like Davidi Kitai.
Yes, he was making that very
Do
clear.
you like this, by the way? I feel like I've got this off Mike Sexton, from watching. I did watch a little bit.
I don't know what I do. I always
he does the Davidi Kitai.
Baseball background, hockey.
Can you do a fish? We could do. Could you reel in the fish? Sorel Mizzi, we're just being informed, is looking for a picnic table outside at Starbucks. Do you think he's slightly got a little bit of a Berlin Bears breaking news? Berlin Bears sponsorship by Starbucks. They're going to play all their matches there and just be slipped. You know, like when they pay for branding in movies, just every Berlin's Bears game, they'll be sipping on a double mocha latte.
That was actually the whole TwitchCon announcement. We were going to announce the biggest thing at the end. Starbucks officially joining the Berlin Bears.
Coming together, synergy, GPL, yes. Berlin Bears, and Starbucks. No. It's on. No, finally, the dollars are flowing.
I don't know how this stuff works, but that's not true.
That's not true.
That's a joke.
Sorry.
But, you know, one day, maybe Costa Coffee from the Costa
Start
Coffee place
low.
here in Malta.
Start low.
Yeah. Both of these guys with a very nice Maltese connection. Sorel, half Maltese.
So I will
be the
lose
first
the
to tell you that.
match. I'm going to win this one with the help of Nala. Nala, say hello. I knew it. He's gonna tribute me more and more because he plays so tight first round. So I'm not gonna forget first hand. He's never gonna believe me. Whatever.
Laura Cornelius shouting off screen that she wants to cuddle with him. Not unclear if she's talking about the dog or Davidi Kitai. They are both deliciously adorable.
They're both adorable. I thought that was dog food then. I was like, oh, Davidi's so in tune with his animal nature. He's like, one for you, one for me.
I saw Davidi Kitai actually on the streets here in Malta. I believe he lives here.
Wow.
So they both have a kind of a Malta connection.
Wow, sick.
They could be related.
Did he acknowledge you? Did he give you a few words?
Oh yeah, we had a great few words. Yes, his lovely wife or girlfriend was saying how happy she was that he was doing
when you
so
get
well.
a couple of words from Davidi Kitai, you feel better
GPL
all day.
So far. Yeah,
I bet you were so on form for the GPL because Davidi Kitai just like had a moment with you.
Yeah.
It's like
I thrive on positivity, buddy.
For sure. And there's no positivity like Davidi puts it.
Yeah, because you just feel like when you meet him, you're not going to get it, and then you realize that he's just a warm little cuddly plane.
Yeah, but warm-hearted, but a cold killer at the table.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the two sides of the man.
For sure.
And Sorel, look at the Sorel looking concentrated. We will endeavour to get it back on the chat. We just want to protect your ears from the noise of the coffee shop.
All right, so we're back here. This is the second match. We won our first match. We won the last hand with the Jack 8 against the Queen 9, flopped the 2 pair.
By the way.
And this is our second match. We started 200, 400 blinds. And I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty comfortable, especially when I'm hitting the hands that I'm hitting and I'm getting the pre-flop hands that I'm getting. Running pretty good so far. And we hit the 2 pair again. Nice little reminder. It's a nice little, what's the word? Serendipitous. So we're going to check raise here because there's a lot of draws on this board, and it looks like we could have one of them. This is an interesting spot. Now, there's more draws that came on the turn here, so we could do a little bit of a Davidi here and overbet, kind of make it look like we have a draw. But I think Davidi is a little too smart for that. So we're not going to Davidi the Davidi. Instead, we're going to Miz the Davidi by making it a standard 5,800. And if we hit, like, I mean, I'm betting pretty much every, or not every, but there's a lot of rivers that I'm betting. And, you know, that's just like, in a spot like that, you want to bet enough to where he's like making a mistake by calling with like some of the worst draws. And keep him in the game with like a Jack or an 8. So that felt like a 5,200-ish type raise situation. We got the King Jack suited here. We're not going anywhere.
Where's my elephant on Twitch? Remarks, Mitzy is in prison, looking out not to get shanked.
On this kind
Does
of
look
board,
like he'd be in a prison yard.
We have a backdoor flush draw. We have 2 overs. Definitely good enough to see the turn. And we hit a straight draw here. But we're on a paired board. So it's not really the best situation here for our straight draw. We would love a check from Davidi here so we could check behind. This is actually, I think this is actually a fold because it's a paired board and we don't even know if we're good if we hit, and if we do hit, we might not get paid. The implied odds just aren't there. So we're gonna go ahead and fold here. If it was a queen of spades, then that would be a different story, obviously.
Bit of a tight fold there from Sorel. Of course, I'm being results-oriented given the fact that Davidi just had 6 high. That's what makes Kitai so good, understands ranges so well that he was able to get Sorel off a hand when Davidi himself had little to no equity.
Little bit out of order in terms of like bluffing with the 6-5. Very loose strategy.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely field player.
Davidi did predict that Sorel was going to get a little bit more out of line in the second match, and that proving to be true. 9-6 off, commented on how loose Davidi's barrel was. This, a very junky looking hand to 3 bets, but does take Davidi Kitai off the dominating Jack-9. Looks like this is going to be an action-packed second match.
Now, every once in a while, I like to mix it up here with a couple checks. There's really there's a reason to bet the flop, but on the turn, unless he has some sort of flush draw, I'm not getting much value. So I'd like for him to bet the river so that I could raise, but it doesn't look like he has much here. So I'm just gonna make a standard bet to 2,000. Maybe he'll call me with like ace high or something.
Davidi is considering it with the ace high. Kicker irrelevant. He's playing ace, king, queen, 9-9.
He could raise here. That would be an interesting play. I mean, we might have to call. I think he was thinking about raising there. I mean, he might have like a 10-7 type thing and think, oh, I have a blocker for a straight draw. And because I played my hand so weak, I would probably have to call and just say, well, if you have a 9, you have a 9. If you have a straight, you have a straight. But I'm just not going to fold here. So sometimes you just have to make a decision to bet call.
Sorel with a loose defend, flopping a gut shot.
It's like such a small bet. But I think I'm just going to fold it here. It's you get into a lot of problems when you play gut shots in this spot. I can certainly justify a raise. I can even justify a call here. But I think the best play is to fold.
For a little bit of protection with the king high, and because he has some backdoors, some players would check this back. We can see he's in bad shape against this particular hand, Sorel Mizzi not 3-betting the ace-jack. Deceptively strong hand on this board. And now Mitzy's kicker does not
make
play.
a smallish bet here. Try to get some value from a queen, maybe. So here's another spot where we hit top pair with a weak kicker. Gonna check back here. It's definitely not the same type of spot, but it's similar. And you know, we're not gonna be able to handle getting 3 streets of value, so we're only gonna go for 1. If a weak card, if another, if a brick came on the turn, we would certainly try to go for 2.
On the river.
Okay, wow.
Both players employ very small ball strategy, a lot of checking in this match, a lot of deceptive check-ins with reasonably strong hands. Sorel Mizzi checking down that top pair, king, jack in a 3-bet pot, and again, checking back top pair there in a single raise pot.
2 really strong hands here, heads up. Ace-4 off for Davidi. The jacking off for Sorel Mizzi.
And Sorel picking a sizing.
Sometimes we call it, sometimes we raise.
Holding.
We've had this exact spot before, and we elected to call, but King Jack just dominates so many of the hands that he's opening with. And this is why I like to call with these hands a lot and against aggressive players, because they like to 4-bet. And he's probably 4-betting with some silly hand like 7-9 or like 10 deuce or something weird. He probably is. Like I'm almost certain of it. And a part of me wants to just ship it in his eye. But I have to be responsible. And my gut says that he's full of shit here, but I just don't have the heart. Not today, at least.
Very a little off his game here, I think.
Very interesting hand there. Don't think many of the players would
3-bet fold King Jack there. No, 3-bet call, maybe 3 to 5-bet shove, flat. Pretty much 3-bet fold the
really
worst option.
Sorel, obviously someone that kind of goes with the flow.
Yeah, sure.
Flatted the ace jack and then 3-bet the king jack.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy's won $11 million playing live poker. You know, he avoids those kind of high variance spots. But in this particular format, I think that you're getting exploited a bit too much if you're 3-bet folding King Jack.
And interesting that he picked a real small sizing with King Jack, almost so he could peel the 4-bet, then picks a big sizing with pocket jacks. You would have thought, again, it would be the other way around. If you're going to fold the King Jack to a 4-bet, pick a big sizing and a smaller sizing with jacks, or just keep them balanced. Really, really interesting. Learning a lot about Sorel Mizzi's game. Hopefully it will give us some insight into his strategies. At the moment, though, he is 1-0 up, 3 points secured, and things pretty level here at the 501k level. No one connecting with this board. Kitai does have king high and a spade. And the turn card hits them both. And Davidi Kitai, very unorthodox with 2 flush draws, leads out, and
I was actually probably going to bet this.
Does have the best
he
hand.
bet for me, and we're going to call here.
Very sick
really
value bet from Davidi Kitai.
But it looks like it could be complete my straight, so if he was bluffing on the turn, I really doubt that he would bluff the river. There's no real point in betting here. We have a hand that's going to be good a lot of the time, so we're just going to check. Interesting. Okay. All right, we're going back inside.
Never know what you're going to get.
Davidi Kitai now limping off a 40 big blind effective stack. Don't see too many limps at this stack depth. Maybe a response to the frequency with which Sorel has been 3-betting, an adjustment. In general, I think you would want to pick more playable hands than a6 off, probably just using the blocker as a raise. But Davidi Kitai, as I said, has his own style. Now sensing that the ace high is good and betting for some protection. We're going to lose Sorel's chat for a while because inside of that cafe, pretty noisy. He has to be there because of the Bears contract with Starbucks. One of the first endorsement deals of the GPL, but does interfere with him sharing his thoughts. I think it's important for him as well. Davidi Kitai turning the straight. Important that he is focused here, playing heads up against one of the best players in the world, Davidi Kitai. You know, got to be a bit of a distraction for Sorel, not playing. You know, you can see Davidi playing from home, relaxed with his dog. Certainly going to allow you to more comfortably play your A game than running around Austin looking for a Starbucks. At the moment, though, Sorel is a game to 0 up, 3 points secured. Each and every match worth 3 individual points. Kitai outflops Mitzy, and on a board with a significant number of draws, decent number of draws, is going to bet for some protection. And this match looking very favorable for Davidi Kitai with a 2-1 chip lead.
Absolutely.
Sorel Mizzi flopping second pair, checks it back. Sorel plays a very pot control style in position. Definitely don't mind that check with a straight draw, well, a backdoor straight draw to go with it. And Davidi Kitai with a wheel draw and ace high can sometimes be good here. Might be inclined to take Sorel to a river. That's what he's weighing up right now. Does call, and the river, a queen, changes nothing. Would be an incredibly thin value bet from Sorel. Is taking a second. It's interesting thing is, it's very unlikely Davidi plays a better hand than this by check calling the turn. But Sorel doesn't think he could get value from worse. Understandably so. Checks it back. Pretty standard hand. Kitai continuing to limp. As I've reiterated, Kitai is someone that has incredible faith in his post-flop hand reading skills.
Absolutely.
Like one of, even a few years ago when The game was very...
Sorel is choking.
When the game was very oriented around pre-flop, 3 bets and 4 bets,
Wasabi.
and X-betting wars, Davidi Kitai was the first. He was a peeler right from the early days, taking people to flops. The Paris Aviators, you'll remember, got off to a great start at the GPL. Were top of the table for a number of weeks. Alexandre Leno did put in a good performance yesterday, but they've had a few setbacks. Fabrice Soulier, their manager. We're only smoking because we know we love Fabrice here at the GPL. He does pop into the office and see us, and we know how proud he is to be the manager of the Aviators.
And it's just run so remarkably bad.
It has run really bad.
It's at this point, it's comical.
So we won't give him any needle about it.
No.
Sorel checking down the 9, but yeah, Aviators still pretty comfortable, but I know they'll want to be challenging the Wolverines for top of the table. Great flop here for Davidi.
Did Sorel remark on why he was in Austin? Did he go there to see about a girl, or is he there for some poker?
Yeah, who knows? The wildlife of Sorel Mizzi. I mean, it's just, you imagine a few years from now when these guys start writing their memoirs.
Laura Cornelius informing us that she will ask Sorel
in the interview.
In the interview, she's not saying that
hard-hitting journalism here.
She'll ask him
Real
right now.
talk with Laura Cornelius. Laura, of course, assuming that Sorel's going to win this match.
Yeah,
but
very, very surprising and presumptuous.
Yeah,
Almost
a little bit rude.
Yeah.
A little bit disrespectful to Davidi Kitai. Sorel just pausing for a moment with the Jack-4. Maybe just trying to... And he does go for a wild 3-bet here with the Jack-4 and miming response to it. Davidi Kitai, strong hand, heads up. King-Jack, 2 strong Broadway hands, takes Sorel to a flop. And Davidi Kitai, top pair and an open-ended straight draw. Sorel Mizzi with that bare straight draw, but a Jack of Spades in his hand. Obviously, one of the reasons you don't want to 3-bet a hand like Jack-4 is because it flops so badly. Here, he has connected with the flop and fars out. This is a very dicey moment for Sorel Mizzi.
I love it when Sam starts putting on his jacket when he sees someone.
Well, if the turn's of spades, well, that might chill things out. Sorel Mizzi with less than pot behind. So hard to move Kitai on this board, though.
He's got to hope he has something
going to
like
have some 10-9,
yeah,
Jack-9.
He's going to have to hope he has Queen-9 suited and folds, which is so unlikely.
Yeah. I mean, there's a possibility he doesn't call all in with Queen-Jack, but you have a Jack in your hand. That's a problem. And Sorel does check. And the question for Davidi now is, can he go for some value? Can he get called by Ace-Queen? Can he get called by worse kings? I mean, obviously, the Jack doesn't actually play. He would be chopping with a hand like King Deuce. So Davidi checks back. And Sorel reaches the river with Jack-4 high. Doesn't go for it. Abort mission. And Davidi Kitai, one way or another, is going to take down this pot. Davidi actually thinking about going for value now. Looking to get value from Queen X, pocket Jacks, pocket 9s. Very unlikely that 9s or Jacks can call. And Kitai picks a small sizing on the river and picks up the pot.
Davidi, all coming up Davidi so far in this match. Sorel deciding to limp on the 12 big blinds here. Looks like it was a great decision as Davidi is Oreen. Davidi is Olleen. Nope, he's kind of got a raise. Love this stuff. What a
Davidi Kitai
weirdo.
is a Picasso, a Matisse,
Yes.
an artiste
Yes.
of the felt. And a big hand here for Davidi.
Limpikins. Limp City.
Limp City, baby. Limp City.
Davidi Kitai's favorite band, by the way. Limp Bizkit.
No.
No.
By the way, you are pretty good. Your sincere voice is very good.
Yeah, I'm an incredible actor.
Sorel has outflopped Davidi. Davidi picking up some additional equity on the turn. May look to protect his hand or even get a little bit of value from hands like 9-7, 9-8. Ace 3, possibly. 3-4.
Nope. 0% chance he has ace 3. Tell him why, Sam.
Well, he would probably shove the ace 3.
There you go.
before,
On the
but,
limp on 12 blinds.
And Davidi Kitai on the river. I really hope for his sake that he opts to check this back. Sorel's range is very weak on this board, but he actually does have one of the few hands that he plays this way that beats Davidi. And Davidi checks. Great poker instincts from Davidi. Feeling he couldn't get called by worse, and that was often beat. And Sorel Mizzi chipping up a tiny bit, 13 big blinds. The reason you limp strong hands like 10s is to be able to get to flops with hands like 5-4, but Sorel with a strong ace, able to jam. 1K, 2K, and Davidi Kitai very close to leveling things up. And this, if you're regulars in the GPL, you will know that the money pretty much always goes in here, always goes all in here. Davidi Kitai jamming the 7. Sorel very happy to call off with ace-jack. And diamond or 7 required to keep Davidi alive here. Just the 7 now. Brick City on the river. And just like that, Sorel Mizzi takes the chip lead. Great news for the Berlin Bears. Great news for farmer Philip Gruesome. 2-1 chip advantage. And Sorel winning the flip. Sorel must be loving life if he does get a win here. You know?
Yes.
Would be great in his first week in the GPL for the struggling Berlin Bears. Sorel Mizzi looking to pick up the pot with the junkie 6-3 off. Jammed on by Davidi. Wouldn't like to call who's going to win this one. Going to come down to a little bit of luck, a little bit of positive card distribution.
And a lot of Queen Jack of Hearts.
And Sorel this time doesn't look to pick up the pot pre-flop with a slightly better, slightly more connected hand. And Davidi Kitai nails the flop.
Have you been following the Spring Championship of Online Poker at all? Any people we know been had some success?
I did put out a tweet the other day because I checked the results in the morning. I had a few friends deep, and Mitzy got an 11th. But no, I haven't been following it super closely. I saw Rocco Palumbo got chopped a big one for like a couple of 100K.
Nice, good
or
for
like
him.
150K. I really like Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco's great.
Brahma made the day 2 of the 2K, but didn't do any damage. Yeah, not seen too much from my boys from the UK contingent.
Nice.
What about your guys?
I haven't really heard anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's tough out there.
Yeah,
tough
it is not
out
easy.
there on the scoop streets.
Good friend of mine, Dario Sammartino, though. First place in the 21,000.
Yeah, pretty bossy. I did rail that. The fanboy in me, check that out.
Really? How was the action? They were playing pretty sick, these guys?
There was a sick hand between Tony Gregg and...
he was on the final table, Tony.
No, for the chip lead early on, which someone reposted, where... who's the guy? OTB Red Baron raised ace-3 on queen 10 high in position. Tony Gregg 3-bet the flop. He called with ace-3, and then Tony Gregg check-shoved the turn on queen 10-3, and he called with ace-3, having raised the flop and called a 3-bet. And wasn't good.
Tony
lost,
King Jack.
He lost to a set tens, yeah. But they were battling, those boys. They were battling. And two big draws here. Sorel Mizzi, queen high is good at the moment. The queen to 9 straight draw, and Davidi Kitai with 6-8 of hearts. Great turn card for his particular hand. And Davidi calls in position, and Sorel binks the river. And Sorel Mizzi's going to be jumping for joy right now because that is a card that does improve Davidi on occasion. We can see, though, that Davidi has got just the 8 high. And obviously, if Sorel Mizzi was clairvoyant, he would check here. But very likely, he's going to look to get some value from Davidi's slow plays or the hands that improve on the river. And Davidi Kitai can only win this pot by bluff raising, doesn't think about it, folds the 8 high, and Sorel Mizzi pads that chip lead.
Olivier Little on Twitch remarks, both guys looking like the kind of guys your parents warn you about. In regards to like having a sister sort of thing. They do look, you know, they do look pretty studly.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Throwing TVs out of hotel windows, these two, back in their band days.
Big music scene in Austin. Maybe he's there for that.
Is that what you think's going on?
I don't know. Maybe a festival or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
Definitely possible. Davidi Kitai picking up a couple of small pots. Chip counts very, very close. Remember, Davidi was, one coin flip away from sealing a win here.
This could be interesting here. Obviously, two very strong holdings. Interesting decision to hear Davidi counting out a raise. Certainly going to regret that if he opts to raise fold. Do you think he ever raised calls? Very interesting choice by Davidi. He will certainly be disappointed when he gets limp shoved on here.
Yeah, and I think he's picked a sizing very specific to Jack 10. Wow.
Davidi upset at himself for wasting the potential of such a beautiful hand.
Just to reiterate for people a bit newer to poker, in general, in that spot, people pick a more polarized raising range. Hands that we saw Sorel raising, the 6-3 off. The junky hands, which don't play well post, where you're just looking to pick up the pot, and the strong hands to call off. There, Davidi looking for using a less polarized raising range, raising the playable Jack 10 suited, and the problem with that is you can get blown off your equity.
Yeah, and as you can see, he decided to make it relatively small, just about 2.6x, I think with the intention of, hoping that our boy Mitzy will peel with, some worse jacks, worse 10s, that sort of thing. Jack 7 suited maybe.
Does really well against the hands
10-8 off, those kind of hands.
But
didn't work out for the Kitayan one. Kitayan.
And does give Mitzy the chip lead as well. And Davidi Kitai now going after this limp with the Jack 4. And wow, such small sizing, amazing. Mitzy doesn't even think about it with the deuce 6. And certainly if people are snap folding to a min raise, going to be a super profitable strategy with a whole host of junky hands. Certainly before Mitzy catches it on the stream, if indeed he's even watching the stream. Definitely very hard to do that when you're just on a laptop in a Starbucks. Two very small ball players. A lot of limping, a lot of checking. Just trading blows.
Guys, if you haven't heard, we are going to be at TwitchCon this year. It takes place at the end of September, and we're actually going to be sending some lucky people there, some fans of the GPL. The Cube is going to make its debut. It's going to be 3v3. It's going to be playoffs. Going to be a lot of players there. Sam and I might even be there. It's going to be very exciting. So please do look out for that. We're going to be doing some giveaways. We're going to start doing some giveaways in this final week of the GPL. Tomorrow even, we're looking to do our first giveaway, which might be an exciting thing for the fans out there. Still early days here at the Global Poker League. Please follow us here on Twitch if that's where you're watching us right now. Hit that follow button. It'll let you know when we're playing. And also go on globalpokerleague.com. We want your feedback. Let us know what we think we should improve, what you like, what you don't like.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Griff, because two big hands, Sorel Mizzi, pocket sevens.
And a big tell there with the cough from Davidi Kitai. So Sorel snaps off the sevens.
And holding so far for Sorel.
A lot of fun turn cards. That is not one of them. An ace or a 10, and Davidi Kitai will only have 4,000 chips left if it doesn't come.
A little bit of celebration from Sorel. Davidi disappointed, down to a blind and a half. Davidi Kitai now at risk. Gonna eat some crisps and re-energize.
Eat some crisps and eat his words. Davidi Kitai is down 2-1 against Sorel Mizzi.
GG, 6 points now for the Berlin Bears and Sorel Mizzi.
Well, Sam, you know what they say. Don't bring a husky to a bear fight. Sorel Mizzi, 2-1. 2-0, pardon me. 6 points for the Berlin Bears. Davidi Kitai, had them all in for the win, lost the flip. Had them all in for the win again, lost the flip. So really can't take anything away from the way Davidi is playing. That's just the way the ocean motions sometimes.
Fine margins in this match. Very little to choose between the two players. Both playing a very small ball style.
Yep.
Both not super familiar with heads up, I don't think. But Sorel Mizzi coming out on top at the moment. I mean, I don't know whether I don't know whether he's bringing his absolute A game. Obviously, a little bit distracted by his surroundings. I know how distracted he can be when there's a lot of noise in the background, and how it can be tough to focus. But Sorel doing a great job at the moment. He's going to be very, very proud of his performance so far in the GPL. Late arriving, but immediately making an impact and justifying the Berlin Bears.
Yes, fashionably late. Always can count on Sorel for that. All right, what's the plan? Are we heading to the third match right away, or should we talk to Laura a bit, or what do you guys want to do? It's really up to you guys. Let's send it to Laura in about a minute. But until then, anything that stood out for you other than the very questionable 3-bet fold from Sorel? He does have 2 games up on him right now.
For sure. I mean, these guys, two field players. I feel like Sorel and Davidi are taking each hand individually. I don't feel like they're people that have done load of work off the table and are like, these are the hands I always raise a limp with. These are the hands I always 3-bet. These are my bluff hands to balance my value combos. I feel like each individual hand, they look at it and they also select sizings based on, okay, I'm going to make it a bit smaller with the King Jack because I want calls, and I make it a bit bigger with the Jack 4 off because I don't want calls. Really, really interesting and going to be crucial to see who adjusts first. And I think that it's very unlikely Sorel is actually following the action. So you might see Davidi gain a little bit of an edge in this third contest.
Nice. Let's talk a little more about... sorry, I just had a little bit of a brain fart there.
It's all right, my friend.
What was going on with that King Jack? It was bothering me. Let's just send it to Laura. Yeah, I want to ask Sorel about that hand later. Right to the game. Right to the game. Laura, I'm sorry. Long days here at the GPL. I apologize, Producer Lewis.
I understand why you would love to.
Yes, I want to see some more Laura. I'm sorry.
Come on, this one is for me. I deserve this one for sure. By the way, this is Nala. It's a dog. It's a Shiba Inu. It's a Japanese dog. Very, very smart girl. Good girl. Okay.
For Davidi Kitai, but Sorel Mizzi actually does have the best hand at the moment. Board that is very favorable for the pre-flop raise out, and as a result, Davidi Kitai is entitled to bluff a lot here. Probably a hand he's going to want to fire a second barrel with. No showdown value and a big draw. Really like this from Davidi.
Definitely tough to consider here for Sorel. Certainly noticing a trend, Sam, that I want to remark on. It seems like turnover bets are usually always draws. Do you know what I mean? Like just trending. I mean, like a lot of people aren't value overbetting turns. They just recognize that they're putting people in tough spots. I wonder how those trends are going to change within the poker ecosystem, and at least the GPL one, as you know, people are just seem to be overbetting turns when they have draws and know that people are capped. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
well, I mean that's the spot where Sorel shouldn't be capped. I mean he has 7, so he should have 5s and 3s and ace 5 and ace 3. Yeah, I mean in general you should be picking an overbet sizing either when your opponent is capped on rivers, but in general it's when there's wet textures. Yeah. As you point out, in general people have been leaning towards doing it as bluffs.
Right.
They should be picking. Also doing it with 5-3, for instance, is a great hand to do. Pocket 3s when you don't block the ace, great hand to do it with on that board.
Yeah, I also think that what makes you know some of the Paris Aviators so special, in particular guys like Alex on Moon and Davidi Kitai, is that when they are making those turnover bets, even when the other person has so much equity that they call, they really understand what they're trying to rep and then make value bet sizing on the river, hoping they haven't hit. A very interesting hand yesterday between Mr. Moon and Chris Moorman.
For sure. I mean, I definitely think that, you know, obviously within poker and in GPL, we're lucky. It's mainly just elite players. But you definitely, in the MTT community, see people overbetting and they don't know why they're doing it. Right. Theoretically, they're just, it's sort of like monkey see, monkey do.
Yes.
They're like, okay, I know that now in the modern game you're allowed to bet more than pot. So because I've got a really good hand, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And
I find myself overbetting a lot of rivers, but not always in the context of greed. But before it was certainly greed. I was just like, oh, I'll just go all in because this guy, either I'm bluffing or I'm not. But now it's more about, you know, I shouldn't have any 5s in my range, but this time I do, and I think he has to call. I had a couple nice overbet spots in the 2K on Sunday that I bubbled. Yeah. Really funny way I busted, actually, to Simple Jack, Karma.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your
man, oh, what was his name? You love this guy. He's a reg. I forget who he is. But he did the old 3-bet 15 from the money with the Jack Deuce. I flatted the Admars.
The Admirals? Pass?
Yeah, for about 45 effective.
Who was it? Tell me.
Oh, man. I forget. But anyways, it came Deuce 8-7, 2 clubs, and he had the old Jack Deuce of clubs and popped off the Johnny for the chip lead. It's great. Chip lead is in, like, you know, top 20 stack.
Oh, unlucky, bro.
Hashtag Bad Beat Stories here at the Global Poker League.
Cry me a river, Griffin Benja.
Cough me a river over here.
So, what a day it's been here at the Global Poker League. We saw Darius Sammartino defeat Igor Kurganov 2-1. We saw Wizane Zhang winning 2-1 in the first match of the day. And here, the sweep is on Sorel Mizzi, or Mitzy, 2-0 up against the legend himself, Davidi Kitai. Sorel, who flatted the ace-jack at a similar stack depth in the last match, continuing to, in a way, slow play the ace-jack. Peels again, flopping a gut shot. And lets Davidi get there on the river. Davidi Kitai delaying his bluff all the way to the river. And now, no need to bluff, will show down and win. Very frustrating for Sorel, who had the best hand at all points until the river. And Sorel flopping top pair. Kitai with a gut shot. Sorel opts to check it back. Been a feature of Sorel's playing style. Likes to take out a street, particularly the flop, with pretty strong hands. Protects his check back range, but perhaps, arguably, misses out on a little bit of value. Here, though, some chance it could work out for him. Davidi, I presume, considering a call with ace high. But it may be he's thinking about a check raise bluff. We haven't seen any big river bluffs up to this point in the contest. And most players would use some kind of diamond blocker to control their frequency here. But Davidi Kitai just going for it with the ace four. To be fair, this is probably the worst hand he arrives at the river with. Normally, he always gets hit with a pair, and he does get the job done. Sorel Mizzi go for a little bit of thin value with his 10, and Davidi Kitai finding a way to win the pot. Davidi Kitai, a reputation as unpredictable. I think it really helps him. There's been none of those type of plays up to this point in the match. And Kitai off to a good start.
And a good flop for Davidi here. Two pair, as my colleague might call it.
Two pair. Boom.
Boom.
That's
daddy.
massive. And Davidi elects to bet this hand. A lot of favourable turn cards for the Queege. That is not one of them.
Sorel opts to bet, bro.
What did I say?
Davidi. It's okay.
Oh, sorry,
Guys.
Sometimes
Sometimes I gotta,
Are we saying Mitzy or Mizzy?
Sorel Mizzi. Sorel Mizzi. I think I said just Mitzy.
Mizzy?
Yeah. And by the way, I wasn't like provoking your badge and gun or anything. I just need you to come to my office and be like, you said the wrong name,
Sure.
you know?
I understand, boss. And looks like we're getting Sorel back on comms. Hello, Sorel. You're live. Talk to us, brother.
Come on, bruv.
Share the big bear Mitzy of the Berlin
All right,
Bears.
so I'm back. Got the audio back again. Sorry, guys. This is not very professional of me. I don't have a full battery, so I've had to go inside Starbucks and outside in order to speak. So I apologize for that. I wish there was, you know what, there might be a plug outside that could solve a lot of problems. I see something that resembles what could be a plug, an outlet. So I'm going to take a look at that and do a little reconnaissance after this hand.
And we doubted whether Sorel was fully focused. How could we be so wrong? And Sorel Mizzi rivering top pair. Sorry, second pair. Called the flop with just King Jack high. Probably not going to be strong enough to bet for value. Davidi Kitai would check back some aces, but doesn't elect to bluff with the 9-7. one of our producers very unhelpfully telling us it's Mitzy like pizza. But
so Miza. But then we change, yeah, I guess.
Mitza? He's definitely not Mitza.
He's a Sorel Mizzi, come on.
Max Rabinovich, I don't think we could trust
Mitzy.
him.
Mitzy.
Yeah, but we're not going to say Sorel Mizzi.
Sorel Mizzi.
All right, so the good news was that it was a plug. The bad news is that it's not working. So I have 37 more minutes. And
we all know what that means when you have 37 more minutes, Sam, on your,
so we got a
Apple
tie
product.
Here. Nothing really changes.
You got about 21.
I'm being told that my audio and my video is not good, so I'm going to move a little closer to the Wi-Fi.
Sorel, a little bit all over the shop, but he has managed to win 2 games here against Davidi Kitai. This is a pretty interesting flop. Sorel flopping the up and down straight draw.
Okay.
Davidi, 2 overs and a nutter gutter.
All right, so we got an up and down here. I'm going to protect this hand by making a nice little half-size bet, half-pot-size bet.
Half-size Sorel, they call him.
I don't check is because 10 high isn't going to be good very often. So I'd rather try to take it down
Sorel
now.
Mizzi.
Plus I can barrel
Pizza.
which is what I'm going to do.
Mitzy, pizza.
I'm going to make it 4,500 here.
Mitzy, Sorel Mitzy. Pizza, Mitzy, yes.
That. Show them what I mean.
A Mitzy.
Davidi Kitai improving to an open-ended straight draw on the turn. And Davidi can't know that he has the best hand. Well, I assume he can't. And river card pairs Sorel and gives Davidi Kitai a straight. And Sorel, with a little bit of showdown value, outdrawing Davidi's 7x. Probably going to be no need to bluff now. And Davidi Kitai picking up a nice pot there. Shame the river didn't break off, and we could have seen Sorel bet 8-10 high, and Davidi soul reading with Jack 10 high. Thought that was going to be our first moment of Kitai magic there. And maybe we're going to have to mute the great Sorel Mizzi, save his incredible webcam game for another day because...
Wow.
Wow.
Instantly calls it. That would have done it.
Davidi Kitai sharing with us that he suspected Jack 10 high was good. Denied a little bit of magic there, unfortunately. The hand that nearly was. And Davidi Kitai, yet again, off to a strong start and outflops Sorel Mizzi's hand. The 2 10s, and the way Sorel actually does bet for some protection here. Can get called by the 6x, the 5x, the straight and flush draws. But on this occasion, he is...
Whamboozled.
Yeah, bang under it. Davidi Kitai, seemingly clairvoyant, feels like the King 9 is good enough to raise for value. And Sorel doesn't block any of the straight draws or flush draws. Probably going to feel compelled to at least call here. Real tough spot with the 10s because not many turn cards improve them. And Davidi will not automatically slow down when he does have, say, 7-8 or 8-9 of diamonds. Really tough decision. Does call, though. And Kitai improving a little bit on the turn. Now a gut shot straight draw. I think it's kind of sexy to check raise, check here on occasion.
Have you ever pulled off, by the way, I got to ask, have you ever pulled off the triple check raise?
The trifecta?
Yeah.
No.
I've done it once, and it was actually in the 200
and
rebuy
Davidi Kitai, how does he know the King 9 is automatically good here? This is pretty amazing jamming for value just over pot. And Sorel relinquishes the tens, not falling for the trap. And Sorel Mizzi very much on the back foot here.
The butchers.
Down to 23 big blinds, early doors. And to make matters worse for the Berlin Bear, flops top pair with the rather unpromising holding of 9-5. Can't know that Kitai has him banged to rights with 2 kings. And Sorel check calls and outdraws Davidi. 9-5. And Davidi Kitai going to be betting his overpair for value. So many hands pick up a gut shot on this turn card. 5-4, deuce 4, 9-7. Going to need some protection and picks an overbet sizing here, actually for value. Obviously, a lot of pairs, the 6 and 9 can turn flush draws as well. So really like this sizing. So unfortunate that Sorel has the 9-5. You can imagine what a tough spot this would be for Sorel if he had a 9-8 or a Jack-9. And Sorel's all in. And Davidi, his instincts are so sharp. Really feels like he could be behind when Sorel ships.
Kitai realizing his equity is too much. Needs a deuce, 6, or a king. Does not get it.
A little bit frustrated, Davidi. Obviously, such a favorable flop for the Aviator, but that turn card putting Sorel Mizzi right back into this match. That chip lead wiped out in an instant, proving the old poker cliche, any hand can win. As you can see, 2 games to 0, 6 points secured for the Berlin Bears. Sorel Mizzi in his debut week looking to sweep the legend that is Davidi Kitai. I'd love to see Sorel fire here with just the 4 high. He's got some favorable turn cards that can come in. And Davidi Kitai releases the queen high.
All right, boys and girls, we are back. Sorry, guys. We're having some technical difficulties here.
We know what that's like, Sorel, don't worry.
We're live, I'm being told, so I apologize for the technical difficulties, but I'll try to make up for it with some commentary. With that hand with the 5-9, pretty much self-explanatory. I think both of us played it fine. Interesting that Davidi is overbetting. He seems to be implementing that strategy with a wide range of his holdings, which is good. He's not just doing it when he has a good hand. He seems like he's mixing it up quite a bit.
Sorel feeling the king high is good enough to try and show down. On this occasion, Davidi does have an ace high. Small ball poker from these two guys. Davidi looks very focused. Paris Aviators, certainly a team that have a lot of morale and togetherness.
Yeah, and Davidi Kitai is one of the stars of this team, and obviously very disappointed with the way he's been running so far in these two matches. Sorel's been winning a lot of flips, cracking butchers, Sorelling around.
Butchers made to be cracked.
All right, so yeah, we're opening a very wide range on the button here. Queen 7 definitely fits in that range. I'm sure you guys have seen we're defending a lot from the big blind. We're opening a lot from the button. I mean, this is how heads up is supposed to be played. You're supposed to play a lot of hands. And that's what makes it so fun. It's you're always doing something. You're always in the mix. So
these guys,
we're running pretty good these
really
last two matches.
Even in chips.
And this third match, we won an all-in showdown. Pretty much any king from the big blind, we're going to want to at least defend. That's kind of how heads up, at least that's how I play my heads up game. We're going to defend, we're going to protect the 4 here. I think we have the best hand a very good amount of time.
Davidi Kitai does call the turn with an ace high.
Jack doesn't really change much, but I'm not super confident about this hand. So we're just going to check reevaluate here. All right. I'm happy to get one Sorel's value here with the 4. If I had a 5, I probably would.
Davidi obviously a very tough player.
I think the 4 is just a little bit too weak to go. It would be a little ambitious to go for 2 streets of value there, even against someone like Kitai who loves to make hero calls. And we got the 7 here, and we're gonna go with our. You know what? We've been checking behind a lot of second pairs here. We could decide to bet here, but I think we're going to go with what we've been doing with the pot control and just check behind here. It just, you know, betting this kind of flop it puts us in a lot of bad spots if he check raises, and we know we're not going to get like a ton of value from this hand. So we want to pick which street we're going to get the value on, and I don't think the flop is the best street to get the value on, and certainly with that turn, we're not going to get a lot of value from worse. So the play here is to just check it down.
Sorel Mizzi dropping some knowledge and now facing a tough spot.
Now we could justify a call here. I mean, with these overbets, they're very polarized. They're either really strong hands or really weak ones a lot of the time. And we just have to decide what it is.
This would be a big turning point in this match.
I mean, I guess he could be betting like an ace-deuce here and just be super ambitious, thinking that I might call with a jack or worse, because he knows that I don't like to fold either. But that being said, I am very suspicious about this bet, and I'm very suspicious about Davidi in general. He's a very suspicious young man, but I think I'm just going to give him. I think I'm just going to give him this one.
Overbet does get it done,
but
for
I am
Davidi
suspicious,
Kitai.
and I will be watching the stream to see what he had there.
Interesting, Sorel is watching the stream, so that's good. Taking note of Davidi's tendencies. You're going to need every scrap of information you can get.
We have pocket deuces. This is just the spot. We don't want to raise because it's vulnerable pre-flop. I mean, it's just going to be too vulnerable in the flop. So we could limp or we could just jam it in. And I'm just going to jam it in. Because, I mean, if he's slow playing a big pair, well done, buddy. You got me. But 9.78 times out of 10, he's just going to have some silly hand that he's limping in with. All right, this is a monster here.
Very interesting spot here based on the sizing that Kitai opts to use. Sorel, pardon me. With that kind of size, I would anticipate just a flat here from Davidi Kitai.
Definitely he can shove here, though. Definitely
For sure.
can shove. And Davidi Kitai calls.
This is a monster flop.
Wow.
I'm going to bet 5,000 here.
And tough spot for Davidi Kitai. Catches a 4.
That is a monster turn.
See Davidi's
could
reaction
slow down
there when
here.
that turn came. Not because he knows the guy has a
Be a little
flush,
tricky-dicky.
because it becomes next to impossible for him to win this
but we're
hand
not going
facing
to.
action.
Because we like to bet. We like to fire. We're not the checking type. We are the betting type. So I'm going to bet 8,000. Give him room to make a call or make an all-in raise. I like that bet sizing because it gives him room for all plays. Like, if he's floating, he might decide to continue floating. If he's got a 10, he might decide to call. If he's got some sort of draw, he might decide to raise, you know? All right, we got second pair here. We're gonna play it slow. Go for the check call. That's a good card. Make it 3,600 here. Nice juicy bet. Probably gonna get 2 streets of value here, unless I mean, there's a lot of hands that we are. There's a lot of cards that I'm gonna go for another street. This is one of them. You know, the queen doesn't really change much, and it looks like we could easily have a draw. So we're going to bet 7,800 here. And I'm fairly confident that we have the best hand a decent amount of time, at least enough to make this bet profitable.
Blinds now up to 12-24. Kitai running out of time, running out of chips, does not want to get swept by the Berlin Bear. This would be absolutely huge for the German franchise.
Yeah, we've really closed down the gap on the Aviators. And again, it's Sorel who flops best.
Too many hands or cards that can come on the turn that are going to hurt us too much in a heads-up game. So we're gonna check. You know, we don't have to go wild. We're only getting 2 streets anyway, so we might as well pick which 2 streets that's going to be. And plus, he's going to bluff with a lot of hands after I check that flop. I mean, I don't see myself folding to almost any bet here. If he does one of his famous Davidi Kitai overbets, we might have to consider a fold. And that's what he does. He does one of his famous Davidi Kitai overbets. And they have been working for him. I don't know if I'm going to let him do it again. You know, those Davidi Kitai overbets are very suspicious.
What do you want him to do here? Do you want
They're
him to
very polarized, you know, like, and that's what I like about them. But it's also, you know, it's an interesting strategy. It definitely puts people, especially good players, in tough spots.
Sorel, take him to showdown. You take him to the mat. You pin him. Okay, this one, you swung at him.
This one
He's
I think
down.
I might call.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. Come on now, son. Feel that positive
energy. There's a lot of combo
from the
draws
future.
that he could have on the turn. He could have like a 10-jack. He could have king 10 with the king of diamonds. He could have ace of diamonds with a 4. He could have. There's so many cards he could have, but he knows that. But that being said, he doesn't have a queen ever. Like I don't believe he would do this with just a queen. I mean, I could be wrong. I've been known to be wrong before. So it seems like he either has a flush or like a very, very strong hand or a bluff. So I think I'm going to call. Boom.
There he is.
Picked him off. Picked him off. Come on, Davidi Kitai. Come at me. Come at me, bro. Come at me.
Sorel, the legend himself, Zhang Bazan, Imperium on Full Tilt Poker, RIP.
But it is Davidi Kitai. Anything is possible with the Davidi.
A pugilistic Sorel Mizzi picking off Davidi Kitai for a big pot, and the sweep is more than on at this moment.
9-6 off. This is kind of close. I think I'm going to shove it here.
There he is. Sorel, if you sweep him here, I might promote you. Nobody sweeps Davidi Kitai without getting at least a little bump in pay grade, don't you think? Absolutely.
Getting Mitzy with it. Na 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 na. Getting Mitzy with it.
Kitai calls with the Jack 8.
Jack 8. We've been running pretty good in these all-in spots, and it looks like we are going to go for the 9 spot, as Pappy Van Winkle says. One little nipple rub for the crowd. That's only when you get a 9 spot do you get the nipple rub. It's been fun, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Match win McMizzy. Nip rub.
Yeah,
McMizzy,
contrasting faces there, contrasting demeanors. The two sides of the poker coin.
Yep.
Davidi Kitai, you know, put a brave face on it, said GG Sorel.
Yeah.
You know, a real gentleman, of course, but you could see how disappointed he was to get swept there.
Yeah.
Sorel Mizzi, on the other hand, in Starbucks, he's caffeinated. He's caffeinated. He's got internet connection, and he's loving life. 9 points added to the Berlin Bears tally.
Yeah.
Great stuff for Sorel.
For sure, and I'm excited to see his interview. Obviously, we had a lot to say about him. He had a lot to say on the stream about where he was and what he was doing. Always
Can't wait till we get him in a settled, focused place so we can share those stories he has, the energy, the love of the game.
I'll be like, come on,
just because, you know, obviously we understand these guys have such busy schedules. That's why he's hopping into a cafe in order to broadcast for us. But, you know, a real strong presence on the GPL really made an impact in this week, yeah?
Yeah, I think Sorel was a breath of fresh air, little shot to the arm for us here in week 7. He was, of course, the last debutant.
And we should
just one left.
For sure. One,
obviously.
Not sure who that is. We should say, though, Davidi Kitai, he ran pretty bad there in the all-in portion of the game. I will say, though, that deploying these overbets with a wide range of bluffs. Eventually, you do come unstuck there. Went for it with the king deuce when the flush came in. He did have, he did have a king blocker, let's say, to king queen, but didn't have a heart in his hand. Wasn't repping a huge range of hands.
Definitely an interesting player. Abstract.
And then,
yeah,
again, picks, when Sorel's running through the hands he has, Jack 10 with a diamond, gut shot plus a diamond, actually just had the 8 high, one flimsy diamond in his hand. If you do continue to employ that strategy and you're imbalanced towards bluffs, in the end you get picked off, and that's what happened.
Absolutely. Laura's going to have an interview with Sorel.
Well, let's head over to the lounge then immediately.
Your lounge tosser. I lost that privilege a while ago.
No, but let's get over there because I want to hear from Sorel. Let's go over to you, Laura.
Thanks very much, boys, and congratulations to the Berlin Bears. They needed those points bad, and 9 points they have. Sorel Mizzi, congratulations to you. I hope we have him on the line. First of all, I just want to say well done. And how did you find your opponent apart from suspicious?
Well, Laura, he certainly is suspicious. That is for sure. Everything about him is suspicious. He's got the beard. He's always playing with his beard. He just looks like a suspicious guy. Like if he came into my convenience store, I would watch him extra carefully. But Davidi and I have been playing for a long time, and we certainly have a lot of history with each other. In fact, we played the 10K Heads Up World Series of Poker event together last year, and I was fortunate enough to beat him there. But yeah, I mean, Davidi is an incredibly talented player, and I would say he's probably one of the best short-handed players I've ever played with. He has a very unconventional style, and he's very tough to play against in a live setting. Because these overbet strategies and the min bet and making really big hero calls and being really aggressive in every position, it's difficult to play against that because it's very unpredictable. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And fortunately for me, it didn't work this time for him. And I was able to have a little scoop ski on the heads up.
Those points. You were 6th, last place coming into this match. You're now 5th place, so you've overtaken the Rome Emperors. Do you get any rewards from Gruesome?
He'll give me a call and he'll give me one of his little speeches like, Sorel, you did a good job for us. Thanks, buddy. One of those. But the only reward I need from Philip is his love, and I got that anyway. So maybe I'll get a little extra love. With a cherry on top, but either way, I'm very satisfied with how I played, and I'm sure the Berlin Bears are very happy with getting some more points on the board.
Oh, that's very, very sweet. Now to some really crucial things we need to know. What is your battery percentage right now?
That's a good question. Well, it said I had 7 minutes left, and then I looked again, and it said I had 10 minutes left, and then 5 minutes later, I have 8 minutes left again. So. It looks like I have 8 more minutes.
Okay, and how do you forget which motel you're staying at?
Well, it wasn't that I forgot. I knew I was staying at a Motel 6. However, I did not know which Motel 6 it was. So I had to look at my credit card report to find out which Motel 6 it was so I could pick up the laptop that I left in my room. And I went back to that Motel 6, and unfortunately they did not find my laptop, so I have to keep the one that I bought yesterday, and it already has water damage somehow.
And apart from hanging out at coffee shops, Motel 6s, and computer stores, what are you doing in Austin, Texas?
I was getting my boxing certification and taking a look at the Onnit Academy. I'm a big fan of this company called Onnit. They promote a lot of human optimization products, and I'm just a fan. I'm a big fan of what they do, and I'm a big fan of what they represent. So I wanted to take a look, and I'm happy I did.
Okay, so absolutely nothing poker related. You're just there for other stuff. And the Bears seem to have a kind of haphazard approach to things in the GPL. Is that something that's going to stay? Is it going to get worse, or are they going to improve with that? Do they need a PA?
That's a very good question. I think that we just we're the Berlin Bears. We're the Berlin Bears. This is what the Bears do.
Yeah.
We're bears. We're not human. We're bears. Bears are unpredictable. Sometimes bears are 10 minutes early. Sometimes they're 15 minutes late. You just have to accept a bear for being a bear, and you just have to accept it. That's all I could say about that.
We got it. Thank you so much for chatting with us. Can we have one last nipple rub for the camera before you leave? Thank you so much. Sorel Mizzi there, doing the clean sweep. 9 points for the Berlin Bears. Great start. Philip Gruesome is going to be really happy with that, and that will mean they leave the bottom of the standings in the conference. But let's go over to the boys. I think they might have one key hand for us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anyways, congratulations, Sorel Mizzi, for the sweep. Should have had the broom ready. I was a little busy. I was really excited for him. 9 points for the Berlin Bears. They really needed it. A sweep against a Paris Aviators team that's been finding it difficult to lose.
Yeah.
Really, really nice swing there for the German team.
Yeah, great to have Sorel in action for the Berlin Bears. Really gives them some hope. Franchise has been struggling.
Yes.
But he's made an immediate
Let's
impact.
get to the hand. We all saw that great overbet call towards the end of the third match, but this was a really big turning point for Sorel. As you can see, so short here in the third match, just at around 12 big blinds. Doesn't fall for the limp with the butchers of Davidi Kitai. And what made this hand particularly interesting, obviously Sorel flopping very, very strong. But what it made it so interesting is Davidi Kitai. We were just talking about how so many turn overbets in our experience of watching the GPL thus far through 7 weeks have been bluffs. In this particular instance, Davidi Kitai opting to overbet with a massive value hand, and once he was shoved on here by Sorel, just had too much money in the pot, too many different combinations, 6-7 of hearts, 7-9 off, 8-9 off.
Yeah,
he would shove the turn.
Well, I think the reason Davidi's so frustrated is because Sorel probably doesn't need to shove any hand that is a pair plus straight draw, pair plus flush draw. He
knows he might even be behind.
But you're incentivized to shove 10-8 of hearts on this turn. You're incentivized to shove 10-7 of hearts, King 3 of hearts, although unlikely you're going to peel the
10-9 of hearts.
But if you have top pair and a draw to go with it, why would you jam? So especially. The other thing about an overbet is you do strengthen your opponent's range.
Yes.
So, a check shove over a half pot bet, you're going to, might include more draws. Mm-hmm. When someone chooses to check shove over an overbet, you put yourself in a tough spot. That's one of the reasons that not every player is employing this kind of bet sizing, with as high a frequency.
And you can see Kitai frustrated, knowing that situationally he kind of has to call here, hope he's ahead, and if not, that he hits something like a deuce or a 6 or a king on the river. It doesn't happen.
And you see it in Davidi's demeanor there, that at that moment he kind of realized, well, you know what? Today is not really going to be my day.
Right.
We've all had that experience.
Definitely.
In a casino, playing cash games, or sometimes online. You just a feeling that,
I know our friend Elliot TK has.
Yeah, everything kind of going against you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the good news is, for him, is that Comic-Con in San Diego,
TwitchCon, to be fair.
TwitchCon
yes.
was announced today.
September 30th.
So Davidi, if you're watching, a little bit of incentive for you.
Yes, exactly. And if things don't work out, we could be sending you, Davidi, all the way to San Diego, because we are sending one or more lucky fans. I don't know exactly how many, but the cube's going to be there, the 3v3 format. Sam and I might
relies on the largesse of our Professor Xavier Alex Travis. He's going to send someone there.
Yeah, he is. He's excited about TwitchCon. It's the first time with a real poker presence. It's going to be there at TwitchCon.
Massive.
A lot of players have started to really get into the twitching thing. I even tried it for a little bit. I had a couple of pretty fun months. You're doing it a little bit with the Unibet thing.
Fridays.
So you should be there anyway, to be honest with you. It's a good marketing opportunity for you.
I might just rock up. San Diego, got to be a fun town, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Well, before we go, let me just say, Laura, stay classy, San Diego.
Does that make me the Veronica Corningstone, I wonder?
You know it is, baby.
Well, we've had a great evening this evening. Let's take a look at the standings now and see how the Bears have climbed after that clean sweep. Look at them now, 6 points clear of the Rome Emperors. Max Pescatori will not be happy with that one, even though Dario Sammartino was able to pick up 6 points for them earlier. He won his match against Igor Kurganov. So Bears now 64 points. Sorel Mizzi has done them really proud this evening, and they are looking now to climb up and up. They are only 10 points now behind the Hong Kong Stars, who have 74 points. We saw Wayne Zhang win his match earlier 2-1 as well. Aviators 4 points in front of the Stars with 78 points, and look how close it is now between second and third. Just 1 point separating Paris and London, but the Moscow Wolverines are still way out in front with 87 points. Congratulations to them, staying on top for another week. Well, you've seen some great poker this evening from the Eurasian Conference Heads Up. Let's take a look at tomorrow, what's coming up in the Americas Heads Up. We've had a few changes from this. As I say, Anthony Zeno now has been replaced. Jake Cody will play instead of Anthony Zeno for the Las Vegas Moneymakers. He will be playing against Jason Wheeler of the New York Rounders. That match is at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central European Time. And also for the Sao Paulo Mets, Joao Simão will not be playing. It will be Felipe Ramos playing for them versus Olivier Busquet for the LA Sunset. That one's at 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central European Time. And the third and final match of the evening is Phil Galfond. We saw him in action yesterday in the 6 Max. He is back in his beautiful house for the San Francisco Rush. He will be versus Pascal Lefrançois for the Montreal Nationals, who are currently top of the Americas Conference. They have been since yesterday, and Mike McDonald was able to gain them 12 points, coming first and second place in both those 6 Max matches that he played. Thank you so much for watching this evening. We hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks to the commentary team. Thanks to the Statman Eric. Thank you to all the players playing tonight, and we will see you back here tomorrow at the Global Poker League.
Can't get enough of the GPL? Head over to globalpokerleague.com for the most complete and up-to-date standings, schedule, stats, and information on your favorite team, as well as full-length match replays, highlights, and epic hands from all of our matches, and much, much more.
We were made for this. You and me, we're gonna fly away. But we're gonna